Hello and welcome to yet another dimension. I am Jeremy, and today we have Andrew here,
The expert.
the
Yeah.
expert of what? Oh, Marvel. Yeah,
Marvel.
because we're talking
Yeah.
about Black
Yeah.
Widow.
Black Widow movie review.
So, what was your expectations before you came in? Watch this.
I really didn't know what to expect, to be honest, because I didn't know what Marvel's new plan is for all their new movies and TV shows. It seems like TV show wise, at least the last couple months, they've been different. They've been kind of a different direction. Falcon Winter Soldier's mostly the same Marvel brand, but the other two shows were really unique in their approach. I mean, this is not a show, and this movie was planned to be released, I think, before the shows, but
Oh yeah, it was. Wow.
yeah,
Forgot
because
about
it was
that.
supposed to be. This was supposed to be also. This was a year delayed movie, which is pretty insane.
So when did they stop production?
I think they wrapped production in 2019. That's how long this has been. Because it was supposed to come out in 2020.
They're trying to make as much money as possible through theater sales. Is that because it was already done?
You
right?
mean why wouldn't they release it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the
They
COVID.
didn't want it. They didn't want to. Because there was kind of a fight between the studio about whether or not they should just release it on Disney Plus. And like they didn't want to do that, and a lot of time, like I think the first movie they did on Disney Plus with like that premiere access thing was was Mulan,
Yeah.
and that was like another thing. I think it got pushed back, So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy that Disney released it like a year later. But so I had like expectation. I didn't know what to expect, to be honest. I didn't really know where they were going with the Marvel universe.
This is like Phase 4.
This
something like that.
is Phase 4. Post Endgame's Phase 4. So it's interesting, and this also is a movie that takes place before Infinity War, right? So story wise, this is way before. So I had no expectation. I didn't know what the tone would be like. I figured it would probably be pretty typical Marvel. And I think for the most part, spoiler alert, it kind of was. But it also it subverted a lot of expectations for me in a lot of ways, and we'll get into the specifics about how. But yeah, I don't really like Black Widow, to be honest, as a character. I don't really care for her. I have nothing against her, but I just don't like. She's like one of my least favorite like Marvel characters. I kind of don't.
What is
think,
her character? Before this,
right?
Or even in this,
I think she didn't have much in the
Yeah.
movies, and this was cool because they kind of went back and they explored the more interesting part of her story, which to me was she was an assassin. Like she killed a lot of people, and there's that background that I think it's kind of ignored in the other Marvel movies. So it was interesting to see them take it that direction and kind of touch on it, at least in this movie a little bit.
they just touched on it. They barely talked about it. We'll talk about that later. For me, of course, I'm not really a Marvel guy or superhero guy, so it's a different perspective. You're into it. You read the comics. You're ingrained into the comic book culture. I'm not, so it's like fresh eyes. And with this, I was like, no expectations. I don't even know if it's going to be good or not. I'm not looking forward to this. Black Widow, I don't care as a character. Like, I don't know who the other characters are. Taskmaster.
Oh, Taskmaster.
What's the main villain's name? Ragon?
Draco.
Draco.
See, I don't know him.
Big Draco?
I never heard of that guy.
Yeah, so...
I don't know if he was made up for the movie or if he's a Marvel character.
So
He might be. He might be a Marvel character. I don't know.
See,
Taskmaster is definitely like a notable villain.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if it was really notable in this, but we'll talk about it. So, overall thoughts, just like no spoilers. What do you like? Do you recommend this?
The no spoiler review.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. I mean, I don't. It's not a perfect movie. There's definitely some really weird plot holes to me, and just weird moments where like I didn't agree with the logic of what was happening. Like, I'll have to say exactly when, but overall, the movie was it's really good. Like I liked the focus on family drama, and like it actually focused on I think just that dynamic between the characters who were established to be like their parents and pretend they were like Russian sleeper cells in America, kind of like the Americans, the TV show. And you learn that that's how Natasha grew up, which I don't think we ever talked about that. I could be wrong. Like in the past Marvel movies, I don't know if they ever talked about that. So that was really interesting. I did not know that was the setup for this movie. I didn't know a lot about this movie going into it. I don't really know anything about her backstory all that much, except that she was an assassin and kind of like bred to be an assassin. So it was interesting to learn more about that from the perspective of her younger sister, who was not really her sister, but the person who was raised as her sister, Yelena, who I've heard of in the comics. She's like the other Black Widow that I know. So it was cool. It was really cool to get a little more of that fleshed out. And I don't know shit about Red Guardian. What's his name?
That was
Played
Red
by
Guardian.
David Harbour.
Yeah.
Who was basically the Russian Captain America. I don't know a lot about him either, but it was really cool to see all that. And I thought the overall story was really good. Like it was not too much. There's not too much going on. There's a lot of backstory, I think, that kind of gets overlooked, and there's a lot of the pre-Black Widow Marvel stuff that, like, if you didn't watch the Marvel continuity, you might be confused by, like, why she's on the run, right, from Civil War and that sort of thing. But overall, the story was manageable. The performances, I thought, were great.
I thought so too. I wasn't expecting much out of this movie at all. But I mean, they had a good cast. They're all good actors. Like Rachel Weisz, she's great.
Yeah, Florence Pugh.
Yeah, she was great. I mean,
killed
she's a young up and coming actress, and she has some range now because she's never really been in this type of movie, kind of like more comedic, action packed, and she did it, and she did well with the accent. And she stood out a lot in this movie. Also, Red Guardian, what's his name? David
Harbour.
Harbour, yeah, he was great in it. So yeah, for me, like I said, no expectations. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. And I'm a big critic of Marvel movies because there's so much and they all feel the same. But I think, they're doing better. Kate Shortland, that's her name. She directed it. I think she did a good job. I don't know who wrote it. So
Eric Pearson?
Do you ever heard of him?
No.
Yeah, so it's like new directors.
That's cool.
Again, new blood in this.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. The action, it was all right to me. The action didn't really stand out for me.
I feel like the action it took a backseat in this movie.
Yeah.
Which I didn't mind because I
I
thought
don't
that
mind at
the
all.
story and the character drama was better than the action anyway. So
I like my characters, and it was good character drama.
Yeah.
The family drama was really good. That's my favorite part of this.
Yeah.
And it was actually funny.
It was. Yeah. I didn't think it would be. And because like I guess that's the Marvel brand is it's funny. I should just expect that it's
for me,
comedic.
I don't know. For me, it's hit and miss with the comedy in Marvel movies. For me, like the older ones, I don't think they're that funny, but I think this is actually really funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of good moments, a lot of dark humor too, which I think was funny.
Oh, that's great.
Because I guess if we want to get into spoilers,
so I would recommend definitely go and see it.
Yeah.
Even if you're not a fan of Marvel, it's a good, decent action movie, good character drama, just a lot of cool stuff going on. It's a fun movie to watch. Nothing serious.
Yeah, but a good fun movie.
You should definitely go see that.
Yeah.
Not probably buy it though. I wouldn't buy it on Blu-ray or something like that.
Nah, if you like it, but
not that much. I mean, see Scarlett Johansson.
It's definitely worth a watch though, for sure. Yeah.
So let's get into it. What is this about? Like, what is going on in this movie?
The story,
the plot. Yeah. What are they after?
Yeah. So after Civil War, the plot of Civil War, essentially they
I missed that movie, by the way.
You didn't watch.
I'm a nerd.
My favorite Captain America movie. I don't really like Captain America.
Yeah, but you love his movies, though.
Winter Soldier is really good too. You should watch that too. But
you see, that's your favorite Marvel superhero now.
No.
I mean, it seems like
Winter Soldier.
That's your
no. It's
favorite.
just that he's been involved in good stuff.
Okay.
No.
He seems pretty good. No, I'm
Spider-Man's the guy. Spider-Man's the guy. But so after Civil War, there's like two factions of superheroes fighting, right? That's what the Civil War is. They fight over a registration. They make superheroes basically register as like government.
That's a good idea.
Property.
I like that.
So they're regulated by the government because of things that happen at Age of Ultron, which caused a lot of destruction, right? So after Civil War, which like Tony Stark, right, was pro the registration, Cap was against it, which I think in the movie was called Sokovia Accords. I could be wrong, but it's called like the registration or something in the comic Civil War, which it took inspiration from. So anyway, they fight. There's two factions. They fight. There's two teams of people that oppose each other. Black Widow was on Cap's team, which was anti-Sokovia Accords, so they essentially were going against the government, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of Civil War, they were fugitives, all of them. Like Sam Wilson Falcon got captured, I think, along with other people, and Cap freed them at the end of Civil War. We never saw it happen to Black Widow. She wasn't there. So they were all kind of on the run. We didn't really know what was going on. So this story kind of filled in that gap between that. So that's where it starts. It's the start of the story. She's just kind of like, she doesn't know what to do, where to go, and she heads to, I think, Norway was at the very beginning.
It was Norway, yeah.
Yeah, just kind of looking to start over. When she finds somebody left her some vials of this red liquid, and it was Yelena, her sister, who found her, which I don't think they explained how she found her, but whatever.
It was going so fast because they were going to different places every 2 seconds. It was a lot to take in.
There's a lot of there's a few moments that were pretty plot holey for me, but
like because they start off as they're kids and like they I don't know where somebody they're going after them
the beginning of the movie opens with a flashback. It's their Natasha and Yelena are kids being raised by David Harbour's character and Rachel Weisz's character,
but it's not really their parents.
Yeah, you find out that it's kind of like the Americans, where they're Russian sleeper cells that were living in America.
I thought that was a cool scene.
That was a really cool scene.
He's like riding on the airplane.
Yeah,
the jet.
Yeah,
that was cool.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
It was an interesting intro because I didn't know anything about that background. I don't know if that's comic accurate too. I have no idea, or if they just did their own version of things. But I thought it was really interesting.
And they glossed over the whole like them growing up as like captives, being trained killers.
Yeah,
I like how it looked, like because I kind of looked like old
that
footage.
Snuff film thing.
Yeah,
it was kind of unsettling. There was like pictures of pigs, and it looked like something I should take a shower after I watched.
Yeah, definitely take a shower after seeing that. But I wanted to see more of that, maybe like more impact of her being an assassin, because it's very like she's a killer. Like they're both killers. I wanted to see more of that. They showed it briefly with her trying to blow up the Draco. Let's call him Draco.
Daughter.
Yeah, but I guess she gets caught in the fire in the bomb, but she survives. I want more of that, like more graphic. I guess I just want to see more violence and see like traumatic, like tragedy of going through something like that.
And honestly,
it changes her as a person.
Exactly, and you're right. They do gloss over it, and I think one thing that really stuck out to me is no matter what she did eventually and how heroic she became, she lived like she didn't just murder the one guy, Draco, who she didn't actually murder. She thinks she murders him.
Yeah, we're going obviously
and kills his daughter. And that's one thing that they talk about in the movie that haunts her. But she killed like a lot of people. Like these Black Widows are trained to murder all kinds of people, like to shift power, right? So I don't know. They kind of don't really talk about that too much. They kind of let her off the hook, which I feel like that's something that should have been addressed.
There's an opportunity to actually give her the backstory that it was sorely needed, because in the movies, in the Marvel movies, she's just kind of there. She's the female protagonist heroine.
Yeah. That
is like, oh, she's a badass assassin. Okay, let me see that.
Yeah, and I think it's like it's an interesting like conflict, right? An inner conflict. Like, oh, I've killed people, but now I'm heroic. What do I do about that?
And it'll put more weight on the decision of them having them become, I guess, like assassins, like child assassins.
Yeah.
And like instead, like later on, they're talking about like, oh, well, we went through horrible experiments and like all that. I need to see that.
It would have been nice to see at least
something like more at least.
Yeah. But as the movie goes, Yelena finds Natasha, and they kind of they battle a little bit.
That was a good one.
Yeah, there's a little bit of tension there.
I like their chemistry.
Yeah, they have great. I think great dynamic, because it's kind of not a perfect relationship at all. No, not a perfect sisterhood, and they're still kind of. Yelena's bitter that Natasha essentially left her behind.
Oh yeah.
So, which was really interesting. And the more it goes, like I guess Yelena finds out that, or she tells Natasha, because Natasha didn't know that the Red Room, where they're born and raised, they're not born and raised, but essentially where they're raised to become assassins.
Yeah.
That is still exists.
They're trying to find that.
Yeah. So that's basically the whole movie, is that they try to find the Red Room.
So they get rid of it.
Shut it down. Yeah. For good. Which was interesting. It kind of leads them on the path where they meet. The first person they go to meet, because they think he might know the location of the Red Room, is David Harbour's character.
Which he was great.
The Red Guardian. Yeah.
He was great. He was hilarious.
And just super ignorant of like human emotion.
Yeah, he's like, "What's you killed?" Like he says, like you killed how many people? So many people.
I'm so proud of you, girl.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, it's a lot of dark humor. It was funny.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting all that.
Yeah,
like talking about the vasectomy. Wait, what was it?
Hysterectomy.
Hysterectomy.
Yeah. I couldn't believe they were just like talking about the ovaries. Like, what? This is a Marvel movie? Okay.
Yeah, she was so good.
Yeah, Florence Pugh was hilarious.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting a lot of that super dark humor, but I guess Black Widow's a darker character.
Yeah, they had the dark humor, but I want
the dark violence. Yeah,
I wanted that too, and it should have been. No, they're not gonna make. Yeah, it's a little bit.
A little bit. Like
did anybody even
end,
die? Any important characters?
Guys. None of the good guys.
See, okay, we'll talk about that later. I'll talk about that more.
But overall, the story is basically just them trying to find the Red Room.
Mm-hmm.
They recruit both essentially their parents, right? The sleeper cells. So Rachel Weisz's character, Melina, and David Harbour's character, who also known as the Red Guardian. And there's a scene, they all meet together again for like the first time in years, right? And it's this really awkward family scene. Yelena's like, that was the only happy moment of my childhood. It's super.
That was great.
It was emotional. She's like, you're telling me the only good thing in my life was fake?
Yeah, it was 3 years of her life, and that's the only thing that she holds on to, because it might have been fake, but it was real to her.
Yeah, it was. It was the only good thing. That was a really great scene. Super sad. And
because Scarlett, she doesn't care, like, that you're not really my parents, like you're not really my sister, because she was older and she's been through many families already, so but she was much younger. Elena. Yeah, so that was a good scene. And her and the mom, with the pigs, like she was raising pigs to she can control them.
Yeah, she was developing some mind control.
Yeah, that was cool.
Thing. It was freaky.
Yeah, it would just stop. Like you just told the pig to stop breathing, and it would just do it. And it would just die.
Yeah,
I was like, man, that's messed up.
It was.
Yeah, and I love bacon. I love pigs more though.
This is important.
This is very important. Save the pigs.
To the plot. But yeah, so that's basically the rest of the plot is that, when they all come together, they hatch a scheme, they pull a twist on you, they make you think that the mother, Rachel Weisz's character, betrayed them, but at the end of the day, she actually had some face changer, which I've seen Scarlett use before in Civil War, actually. She used
okay. All right, that makes more sense.
Or Winter Soldier, one of the other movies, she used that thing. So they use this face changer, and it's actually Scarlett's character who looks like Rachel Weisz's character. It looks like they sold him out, and they use that to hatch a scheme to essentially shut down the Red Room.
That was cool.
It was cool too that the Red Room, they were trying to find it and they could never find it, and the reason why is because it was floating in the sky.
I didn't even think of that.
Cool.
Yeah,
that was a cool little twist. I like that.
It's a good place to hide. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or underwater, I guess. Either or.
Either or.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even talk about Taskmaster yet because Taskmaster's barely in this movie.
Forgot. Yeah, I just see that. I heard you guys this Taskmaster. Who was this?
Yeah.
It's generic super soldier thing.
Yeah, they really underutilized the character in this movie. That's a really big criticism I have. So I hope that they find a way to make use of her. And
it's a her now,
in the future movies, and it was a really cool twist because I was wondering who Taskmaster was going to be.
Kind of looked like a man, but it was a woman.
Yeah, that's the idea. I think they wanted to throw you off, and it is a man in the comic world. So
okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be the mother at first,
yeah,
especially with she had the mind control thing, and I was like, oh, she's the one, she's Taskmaster, and it wasn't her, but the really good twist was that the bad guy, Draco's daughter, never died. And that's Taskmaster. He raised her and basically took her free will away and turned her into a weapon.
Yeah, I think about it, I didn't even think about how messed up it was. It was really messed up.
It was. The whole movie, the idea, I think a lot of it had to do with, I think it was also an allusion to, human trafficking. I got a big human trafficking vibe from this movie, and I think that was another autonomy.
It's subtle.
And
that's good.
I don't even think it's subtle. I think it's.
I thought it was. Right I guess, there. Yeah.
Because the opening scene, the montage, they were in a crate, that's what happens with girls who are getting trafficked. Yeah, you're right.
I don't know why I think that. Yeah, stupid. Yeah, of course. So I don't know why I'm thinking that. It's they don't make assassins; they just human traffic people. But and also they only use girls too. So they only use
I think that's another.
So that's a big that makes sense.
definitely a parallel to that. And then just autonomy for women and in situations like that. So it was cool to see that play out. And then
I guess the message is like, oh, they don't say it in the movie, but just show it. So I guess that's good how they didn't like really talk about.
Yeah, they didn't hammer it home too hard. It's subtler than I guess Black Panther was with its social commentary.
Yeah, like they're just like preaching about it, saying it out loud.
Yeah.
Just showing it. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it was really so. At the end of the movie, they pull a couple twists on the audience. It was pretty cool, and then essentially they just did what they set out to do. They blew up the Red Room. They killed the Draco guy with a cool couple action moments. Like there's one part where I guess he has a pheromone deterrent that stops people when they smell him.
Yeah.
It stops the widows from killing him, which I thought was really
how do you stop that?
Crazy. Yeah.
You stop that by breaking your nose.
Yeah,
that was insane.
She slams her face on the table and breaks
that was great.
Severs a nerve in her nose. That was awesome. That was really badass.
That was good. And the plan that they had, because they planned it from the beginning.
Yeah.
So it was smart because she was trying to get him to break her nose. Well, he wasn't strong enough.
Yeah.
That was good. That was a good scene.
It was a really good scene.
Or sequences, because what else was going on? It was
because Yelena was about to get her face cut, like surgery. They're gonna cut the part of her brain out to see how she got off the mind control thing. And then the other two, you think it's Scarlett Johansson, you think it's Natasha and David Harbour. They're locked in a cell, but it's actually Rachel Weisz's character with a face changer on. So that was a really cool. It was a really cool twisty scene. I like that. The action was whatever, but I cared more about what was happening than the action sequences. I think the plot was more important.
Just overall. Make me care about the characters that could be doing whatever they want.
Yeah, I think they did a good job.
Whatever. Yeah, it made me care about the characters. So
yeah,
I wanted to see them succeed.
Yeah. So overall, the story was pretty solid. I think what really drove this movie, though, for me, like I have to say, it's either the themes of like family and a kind of broken family, and then the performances. Like I think they make those characters, like you said, the performances make you care about those characters.
Yeah.
But especially,
and the writing was good too.
The writing was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially want to call out Florence Pugh though, because she's just like, I'm glad that she's in this movie. I think they're gonna be using her as the next Black Widow, essentially.
Spoilers: Black Widow is already dead.
Yeah, I mean we know that from Endgame, right?
Known that for a couple of years.
Yeah, and like the post-credit scene showed Yelena going to her grave, Natasha's grave, and she gets, like, I guess, recruited for a job to kill Hawkeye, who, like, in Endgame, they both share suicides. Like, they keep trying to kill themselves to save the others, so.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I felt nothing when she died.
That's sad, see.
I felt nothing, because I didn't know her,
You're
really.
Fucking sick, man.
So, but if I would have seen this first.
You think you would have felt more?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do feel like does flesh out Scarlett a little bit more. Keep calling her Scarlett, but it's her name.
Natasha, Scarlett.
Scarlett Johansson.
It's Scarlett, yeah. Okay.
Just want to call her Scarlett, but.
But Florence. She was great.
So great.
She steals the show.
She definitely owns this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that they're choosing her to be the next.
Oh yeah. I'm excited to see
Black Widow and see her in future movies, because I think she will be back for sure.
Oh yeah. And this is hopefully this does well, because I think it deserves it.
Yeah.
People go see it. Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't see it in the theater, if you don't feel comfortable, then see it on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
With or without the premiere access. But
what was it, $30?
It's like $30. I guess if you watch it with your family,
people,
that's like a movie ticket for everybody in your family. But
I think it's worth it to see it.
Yeah.
Every way.
Yeah.
Way you can get it, do it.
Definitely worth a watch. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see what the rest of these characters are going to do in the MCU, if any of them come back. Especially Taskmaster, too. I think Taskmaster's another big one I wanted to see more of.
Man, it was nothing to him.
I know.
Her.
I know. That's what it's going to be. I bet that's a big criticism that other Marvel fans are going to have, is that it's kind of an underutilization. It's definitely a different version of Taskmaster that they're doing. But I just hope that they definitely do the character justice going forward.
I wish she was scarred more. I feel like her scar was just like she still looked good.
Yeah, you mean like Deadpool, where it's like all
Yeah,
over,
I feel like it would have been more impactful.
Yeah,
I don't know. It was just like it wasn't earned. Like her, like oh, I've done so much bad. Like I don't feel that.
Yeah,
our
you
characters.
mean for Natasha?
Yeah, Natasha or what's her name again? Florence. I'm trying to say their actual names. I just know their real names.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really feel it when it's just like oh yeah they kill a couple people. Yeah.
I felt it more with Yelena. I think it's because
it was more of the family.
Because she's
thing.
a new character.
Okay.
I think because we've established more of Natasha as the hero. I still think of Yelena as like kind of she's definitely more of just an assassin. That's all I think of. And now she's just figuring out, oh my god, I have a choice. You know, she's kind of like, what do I do now? I have a choice. But yeah, we don't know the impact that.
Did she even kill somebody in the movie though?
She was going to at the beginning.
Yeah,
right?
like I want people to. I want some killing. They're assassins, man.
Yeah,
they're not like Captain America. Like they're not trying to save people. They're not Spider-Man. They're killers.
That's kind of why I always didn't like Black Widow too. Is that I always thought of her. And every other thing I've seen her in before,
she's used to it.
She's like a killer. That's what she does. She's like kind of like Catwoman, or I'm trying to think of somebody that she's like, but she's an assassin. Like she murders people. Like
yeah, that's
she's
what she does.
Anti-hero. She wasn't. So when they put her in the Avengers, I was like, oh man, this doesn't. It doesn't make sense. Like she's not heroic really. She's an anti-hero.
You think she was just put there for?
I think a lot of the reason was they didn't have the rights to a lot of characters.
Oh yeah,
back at the time.
Spider-Man.
They didn't have rights to Spider-Man or any other,
X-Men.
and I think they wanted a female character, but they didn't have rights to like, a lot of characters.
The good ones.
They had rights to a few of them. Black Widow was one of them. That's why they put her in Iron Man 2. That's their first appearance was in Iron Man 2. So but that being said, I think her character over the movies, it was kind of cool to see her grow.
You know better than I do.
And
I haven't seen all the movies, so it's not really fair for me to speak on her character in the full.
And I like the idea of her being a hero that has a struggle past. I just wish they would have hammered it home a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that's what's missing most.
Yeah. If anything, I think this movie could have done to make itself better. That's definitely one thing I would have had more of.
But I still think it's a really good movie.
Oh yeah, it's very solid, solid. What would you give it out of 10? If you had to?
See, I'm not even sure. I wasn't even really thinking about that. I gotta think of it more, but right now I'm feeling like a 7.5, like 7, 8, something like that.
I was like, it's a solid 7.
Something like that, yeah. I really like it.
7 is good to me.
I'm a character guy, so I like these characters.
It met your one quota for a good movie.
Yeah. So, but the action wasn't really like that exciting. I mean, some of it was exciting. It was good. Because we just watched Mad Max, so I kind of I measure it towards that. 'Cause that's 10 out of 10 action.
Yeah,
this is more lower, and also the showing the backstory kind of killed it for me in some terms. But everything else was good. The characters, the writing was funny. It was actually funny, like I was saying. Some memorable moments were like the posing, like she was making fun of her.
Yeah, how posing. Scarlett always just pose.
Right.
That was funny.
It's like a lot of funny moments. The character drama the family drama was good. I even liked the villain, how cartoonish he was. Like,
he was just ruthlessly evil.
Yeah, I love that. I don't care, man.
Talker.
Yeah, it was hilarious, and like some of the scenes were a lot of tension. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
I would give it a 7.5, or let's just do a 7. Let's just do a 7, straight up 7.
Do a 7.5 because I don't want to agree on something.
Okay, 7.5 then. No. I'm not gonna. No, I'm sticking to my 7.1. 7.1 for me. 7.1. You could do a 7. So a solid movie. Go see it. I think it's worth your money.
Give Disney more money. They don't have any money at all. So.
Man, they're struggling. They're really struggling company.
They're basically on the edge of bankruptcy.
Never mind. I'll give it a 6 just because of the Disney movie.
Yeah.
How's it feel that it's not Marvel, it's Disney?
I just wish
Disney Studios,
Marvel was its own thing. I want them all to be under the same umbrella.
That would be so cool.
And it's so cool to have all characters, and I appreciate that. I just wish it wasn't at the most monopolistic
It's the worst.
Yeah, source. Like I
They hold all the cards.
They really
Mickey
do.
Mouse holds all our balls in a jar. You just don't even know it. He can push the button at any time and launch every nuke and just kill
he's
us
got
all.
he's got the code.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. And Goofy's just like,
Gosh, you got the code, Mickey.
do it.
Do it.
We're not-
Russia.
No, that's what I'm saying. They're gonna. All right, well, no, we're not gonna get into politics in this, okay?
Okay.
How Disney? Okay, we're not gonna talk about politics. Cause Disney, man,
They run everything, man.
everything. I love you, Disney. Don't please hire me. I love you guys. But anyways, that was our review of Black Widow. Go see it. It was a good movie. And next, what? Oh, we're Space Jam.
Our next
Welcome to
schedule
the
review
Space
is Space Jam: A New Legacy, which we already know from the trailer is pretty
Ooh.
disastrous, but we'll watch it anyway.
It is not because it's LeBron. It's just it looks like shit.
I don't even give a shit about basketball.
He does, yeah.
So it's not even about basketball, but I love Space Jam.
Yeah.
Space Jam is a
cool. That's
classic.
surprising, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's just a good, fun
I like
movie.
that. I love Looney Tunes back in the day. I loved it.
And I don't know, maybe I'm just cynical now, but
Yeah,
I feel
you're definitely
like
cynical, but I'm less cynical. I am cynical. It looks like crap.
it does, right?
It does. It does.
It looks fucking horrible. But
And the jokes. Okay, we'll talk about that more. We're gonna watch the original Space Jam, and then we're gonna do a review on it and let you guys know if it's worth watching. But until next time, I'll see you guys on Next Dimension.